Edit our brand and
We could change the world with love it all unfolds. Ooh, no holding back. We gotta be bold. They say it's over, but I'm not sold.
hello and welcome to Shine with Curiosity and Encouragement podcast. My name is Stephen Uriest, author Stephen Uriest, author of Pet Series books, Curiosity and Encouragement. With me today is my publisher and my best friend, Susan Louise Gabriel, owner of Soul Sunshine. How you doing today, Susan?
Hi, I'm great. How are you? You
I'm
sound
doing well
okay,
myself. Thank
except
you.
you're you disappear a little bit. Your voice is a little bit in and out, but you look great.
Oh, thank you. Um, I'll work on the mic issues with that
Okay,
today. Make sure that we're
all right.
going okay. In our practice round, everything sounded and looked good, so
Yeah, it
hopefully that
did.
doesn't
And I
put
don't
us in the
know.
life.
Yeah, it doesn't like live stream for some reason. StreamYard. Yeah, our host apparently is maybe some kind of problem with that connection. But we're not here to talk
No,
about your audio.
probably
We're
not.
here we're here to interview someone, a very special guest.
We are.
Um,
We
would you like to
are.
introduce him, Stephen? See how you sound.
I will. So today we're going to be reading on author Kevin White, and he wrote a book, and it's absolutely extraordinary. Let me bring him in and introduce him to the world here.
Hi, Kevin.
Hey, how are you?
Great.
Thanks
How
Hello,
are
for having me
Kevin.
you?
How
on.
are you?
I'm doing great. I appreciate being on here. I look more intelligent with the glasses. I can take them off though.
I wear glasses. He wears
Yes.
glasses.
So,
Yeah.
Feel free
yeah, no,
either
we
way.
need glasses.
Okay. That's a little too close for me.
So,
My
Kevin,
eyesight
your
is actually getting
book
better.
is Growing Up White, an Oreo's Guide to
Today, yes. That is my book. Yes.
Awesome. Your book is Growing Up White, an Oreo's Guide to Fitting In.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah,
tell us
that caught my
about that.
eye.
Well, first tell us about
Caught my
yourself.
eye. Hmm.
First,
So
tell us
me,
about
I am
yourself,
a
and
okay. Yeah, the book author thing took maybe 10 years to actually let the book out. So I grew up in Columbus, Ohio. Actually, I didn't grow up in Columbus, Ohio. I went to high school in Columbus, Ohio. And then after I graduated, I joined the Air National Guard, which I like airplanes. I love airplanes all my life. I've seen them as a military brat. You saw them all the time. So that was my thing. I joined the Air National Guard, went to Ohio State University for nothing, went to basic training, and I learned how to become an aircraft mechanic, aircraft electrical system specialist. And from that point, uh, I developed my career. So the reason I joined is because I'm a military brat, like I mentioned earlier. What I did, I wanted to get back to where I had safety because in the military, it doesn't matter what you look like or where you came from, everybody was treated the same. So this is my contention. This is why I wrote the book, because when I got out, my dad got out the military. Uh, we had issues because we weren't black enough for the black community and we weren't white enough for the white community. So we were like in our own little world, but we didn't know this was coming. So my sister, my brother, and I, we all got out at the same time or went into school. Public school was a nightmare because the kids get along in the military schools, the DoD schools. That's what they were. They had all the money in the world. If you acted up against your teacher or had any kind of racial issues, they would come after your parents. Whoever was in the military would be punished. So everybody was good. Which is, think about it, that's a really good plan. And
Mhm.
everybody had, two parents, and there was no there are things that on the base weren't the same in the public. So notice how rowdy the kids were, and how the blacks would separate from the whites. This is 1979, 1980.
Mhm.
So those times are different back then, but they're still the same with other kids who call themselves Oreos because of the cultural difference. Even today, I'm still called, like, you're not really black, by other black people only, not by whites. Uh,
Mhm.
so yeah, I'm one of those people. They keep saying, "Hey, you're not black, you're white, you're not really one of us,"
Mhm.
with the skin thing.
Wow.
Even though
Yeah,
I've
I've
heard
heard the
this,
phrase, "You're not black enough." I've
right?
heard that phrase before.
Yeah, exactly. So the struggle fitting into, well, that's what they call us, Oreos. That's not what I named it. That's what they call. So they call us, um,
Well, let's start
including
with that.
biracial kids. Yes. Uh huh.
Let's start with that. Oreo. Um,
What is Oreo?
a lot of exactly what is Oreo?
It's not this quite the cookie. This is actually this, so I wouldn't get sued for copyright. This is not a Nabisco Oreo. Just saying that. So so an Oreo, as you can see, it's black on the outside and white on the inside, and that's why they call us Oreos, because we act white. We're not really black. We're only skin deep, and it's offensive to a lot of people. Not to me, because I wrote a book, and the book's out there and it's successful, and it's been out since 2019, and I still get royalties from it. Isn't that amazing? Um, I had a lot of changes to the book, and I wrote it because I was passionate about this subject, because a lot of kids go through this that don't have resources. I don't know if I'm the first one to write about this, but a lot of kids don't have this ability to cope. So this book is the guide fitting in. And basically the whole premise is be yourself. Doesn't matter what you look like, what you do, you got to be your own person. Don't pay attention to what other people say. And a lot of people have trouble with that, but you gotta really you gotta get into something you really want to do. I went into music. My sister went into art. So, and I was able to kind of escape a little bit.
Mhm.
And I would actually avoid other black students, because a lot of them were not my friends. They didn't like me at all, because I didn't understand what they were saying. I don't know, I didn't know the slang or anything. That was like foreign to me.
Mhm.
So I could identify more with the Caucasian kids that were nicer. They didn't expect things into the book. There's a lot of expectations, but they would talk to me like, "Hey, man, what's going on?" So,
Mhm.
city schools, but there was like was a dichotomy between me and everybody else. It seemed like, but other people had the same
Mhm.
problem. It's just the way they were, like, black kids raised in the country. So, what is black culture? I don't know. I think that's a racist term. However, if I was born, or in my book, if somebody was born in Utah with only whites in their community, are they part of black culture? The answer is no. My college professor could not answer that question. So, are you part of that? Um, so anyway, that's the reason I wrote this book, and this is, like I said, a guide for people like me who, and it doesn't have to be. It could be interracial. It could be where you live, where you grow up. It
Mhm.
has nothing to do with the military. It's your culture. But I respect African American. I'm part of the black culture in America, and I'm not separated from it. But you're in a box, and then people throw you in a box, or you're out of the box. But to most people, you're still African American, with the assumptions of what all other things other African Americans are, or the stereotypes. You're always part of that stereotype, no matter what, because of your appearance. So
Mhm.
people go by appearance; they don't go by individuality. And the only time I thought that I was just American, just somebody, was when I was in uniform. So it was great. So everybody, oh, he's just another, he's an airman, he's a soldier, whatever, he's a military guy. They're all the same. It's like you're equal. It's like the great equalizer of your personality.
Hmm.
They don't care what color you are. You're a hero. They pay for your lunches and they thank you for your service. But it doesn't work that
Hmm.
way the other way around.
Yeah.
So
Well, that kind of
So
leads into
I'm
my
curious.
yes.
I was going to say, can I ask a quick question, off
Uh-huh.
topic, maybe, maybe not? I'm curious about what kind of response you got to your book.
Okay. That's interesting. A lot of people didn't understand, and in my book, I used the phrase RBP, which is real black people. I didn't make that up. Somebody, another Oreo before me, wrote that as RBP is real black people because we're told we're not really black, but that's not offensive. Some people are offended by it, but I would just say, hey, that's what they call me all the time, not really black. So that's why I put it in the book. You know, that's my expression because that's how
Mhm.
I feel too. It's not that I'm making anything up. It's this is reality. A lot of people loved it. It's a funny book. The book is hilarious. You'll read it really quick. It's I think it's
Uh-huh.
109 pages, but it's I'm a funny guy. Okay, um, there's a lot of funny stuff in it. There's
Hmm.
situations that are like that you never thought would ever happen, and I'll bring one up later later on. So um,
Hmm.
does that answer your question?
so
Yes,
It's got
and
great
I did read
reviews.
quite a lot of your book, and you approached it in a humorous way, which,
Yes.
who would have thought that you could approach what's is would seem to be a serious subject in this day and age, and approach it from a humorous perspective and do as good of a job as you did, at explaining, getting your points across, without, um, you want to say offending people, I guess, but what your points are not offensive in any way. So, um, they're just a matter of, in my opinion, kind of a common sense of here's the best way to live your life. In general, it doesn't matter what color you are.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that critique of it. Okay, that's when you notice I use the Fresh Prince of Bel Air as a reference. I don't know if you got
Yeah,
that far. Oh my goodness. Oh
yeah.
my goodness. The Oreos are the Banks family, right? They act white, but the cool people are the ones from Philadelphia, like Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff, and they can get away with it. They make everything work. But the Oreos are wrong. You've left your roots. I don't have immediate roots like that, but you left your roots and now you betrayed your race. And I think that's a terrible show, and it's show success is downplayed on that show. There's a lot of issues going on there,
Hmm.
and I kind of like tore that apart and examined it and threw it to my readers. It's like, what do you think of this kind of thing? And yeah, it's very interesting. You know, the
Hmm. Yes.
dichotomies and the divisions are on TV. So if you act the wrong way on
Right.
TV, like these sitcoms, then you're not right. Carlton, he was doing all the right
Hmm.
things, but he was so hated, and he just wasn't right. You
Hmm.
got to be from you lost. I mean, I've seen so many shows like you've got away from your roots. You have it. You
Hmm.
became successful and you moved to
Yeah,
Bel Air. Okay, that's what's wrong with that.
yeah.
It's like I also say
And
like
poor Carlton
yeah, Robin Thicke and all
couldn't
these
even
other
dance.
people.
Carlton couldn't. Yeah.
Yeah, all these like you see these on TV. All these people like Robin Thicke and all these people, all these
Hmm.
Caucasians I can sing like they're black. Nobody says a word. They think it's cool. But if you're black and you can't sing like you're black, then it's a problem. You can't dance like you're. It's
Uh-huh.
an issue because you're like my article says. Um, the albino is out of place and has no home in the jungle. Okay, they're shunned. That's
Hmm.
what this is. This is what that feels like. So,
I will have to say though that I think we've come a long way
mhm.
since then, especially in the last, I'd say, year or two, where you start seeing a lot more African Americans doing country music.
Yes. Yes.
And people are starting to not only love it, but I mean, it's becoming very big on things.
Absolutely.
Carlton from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air will always be known as the Carlton dance.
Yes.
And as goofy as it may be, it is going to be loved for generations. And I
Yes.
really love
Yes.
that.
It's better than the Elaine dance. I'll just say that.
Yes,
I agree with
definitely.
that. That has a better
Yes.
song choice on there. I mean, Tom Jones,
Right.
how can you go wrong with that, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Oh yeah. By the way, you saw the first part of my book. My favorite artist has always been Barry Manilow. Genius.
Hey, man,
Yeah.
hello.
That's it's not. It is forbidden for me to like Barry Manilow. Okay.
You
No, no,
no,
no,
that's
no.
yeah, you're not allowed, right?
Right. Exactly.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
So you grew up in the military. You were a military
Yes.
brat. My first question to you would be then, what advice would you give to anyone who's considered a minority in America who didn't grow up in the military or never served?
So that's funny you should ask that because do you know there are more blacks in the military, especially in the army, and they're most likely to succeed to get higher rank and become leaders and commanders. And you're seeing that in the Joint Chiefs right now. Um, you would not believe. You just don't see it. On active duty is a lot of African Americans, a lot of Africans too.
Hmm.
You don't have to be a
Yeah.
citizen to go to the military, but consider the military. If you never served or grew up in it, there's so many possibilities because it's like going to a trade school. So I joined the Air National Guard right out of high school, and I have a trade. I was an aircraft electrical system specialist working on A7s, and I got that skill, and that has opened up so many more doors. So my advice is this: if you want to go to college, that's the best way to go for free. You get your skill, you get this, you live the skill, and you have those skills for life for nothing. You don't have to go to anything like that. So you're getting free ride to college scholarship.
Hmm.
What the way they used to promote it was if you join the guard, then this will pay for your car, get a new car. This is what they used. That's a recruiting thing back then when I got in. That's not why I joined though, but they dangle so many things. So then now they've got like $20,000 bonuses for joining.
Wow.
So and the army has some of them are 50,000, but mine was
Wow. I
600.
think I'll I think I'll head down to the recruiting station.
Yeah, but there are so many different things you can do. You know, once you get through your school and everything, and it wasn't easy. It was not easy. My tech school was difficult. Learning, I didn't know anything about circuits or anything like that. But once I got through it, makes you feel good. And then you learn how to do the job. You know, working on aircraft. I worked on fighter jets when I was right after that class, those classes I had, and it was a very exciting life world. It's a complete escape from everything else. Like drill weekends are completely different, and you're doing something major. You're doing something nobody else would do ever. I mean, it's very hard to. You can't. It's things we did you cannot do in the civilian world. But that little bit of experience, you see the world. I've been to 19 countries. I've seen a lot of things, met a lot of people, a lot of cultures. So a lot of states, a lot of deployments, and you learn something everywhere, and you can never learn everything, but when you're there, you take advantage of it. You can do it one week in a month, once a month, and we had we had doctors that were pilots, fighter pilots. We had a lot of engineers. There are a lot of airline pilots that you get on a plane now that are reserve or guard pilots. You'd be
Mhm.
surprised. I see them at the airport a lot. So, but that's what they do part time. It's a part time thing where you gain a lot of knowledge and skill, and it's about teamwork. You don't really know teamwork until you go to the military, until you get in
And
there.
so, are you moonlighting as a recruiter?
I am not, but I encourage young kids. This is an option to take, and
Mhm.
it's the quickest way. If you like, okay, like in Ohio, I said I wanted to go to Ohio State. My friends were going there. I didn't have, my dad could not afford it. Okay. So recruiter came to the school and she said, "Hey, this is what you can do, blah, 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 1 week in a month." And I said, "I'm going." So I went. I went to Ohio State the next year. That's where I wanted to go. It was called Ohio State, not the Ohio State at the time. So we didn't know what that was. That happened in the middle.
At the Ohio State.
Yeah. But the point is, you can go to anywhere in the state of Ohio or state, whatever state you're in. You can go to college for nothing. I went straight to the scholarship line. I never had to wait like long lines and everything. Everything was ready to go. And then I finished my degree in 2017 on the GI Bill. So, and I didn't pay a dime. It's amazing.
Nice. Very nice.
So
college is
having read your articles, I haven't had a chance to enjoy the book yet, but I will definitely put it on my reading list. You chose Air Force.
Yes.
Why was Air Force your chosen branch to serve?
Because when you grow up in the Air Force, you think everybody's in the Air Force. That's why. We always thought that everybody was in the Air Force. We go off base and like, oh, they're not really in. So it's kind of interesting because you think, because you're in that environment all the time and you see all these people, and then you're overseas and all the Americans are on the base. So it's hard to realize that there's other things in life. There's colleges and your cousins and everything, but then you start thinking, well, they're not in the Air Force. They're not as good as the guys, but it's a bias because like the DoD schools were so much more advanced. Fifth grade, we dissected frogs. We had unlimited money. It's very challenging compared to public schools. I think got out at fifth grade or sixth grade. Anyway, it was so complicated. You had to think all the time because you'd have period 1 through or homeschool through 8 or 7 or whatever it was. Then one a day is a day. So a day is a different kind of day. But then we go 1 through homeschool, home class, whatever it is, 1 through 7. The next day was 2 through 1 or 2 through homeschool. Then 3 through. So it changed all the time. So you always had to be thinking about what you're doing. So what day is it? When do we start? So, but it made you think. But it was very innovative. They had, they did all kinds of things, like they had unlimited money or something. It was nothing like the public school. But the friends you make, they change like every 3 years, or you'll move. People move. You meet them at the next base sometimes. So, and I still have friends. My next door neighbors from the Philippines. They live in Georgia. Every time I go down there, I say hi to them. We visit. We have lunch or something, or I'll spend the night at their house. Those kind of people have deep relationships. Because it's different. You don't just go home. You go home and you're in the community and everybody plays together. Back then, everybody played outside, right? They don't play outside anymore. We didn't have any phones or anything. It was just us. And it was fantastic. I had a great childhood. I enjoyed it. And I forgot to mention, we had maids too. We had servants in the Philippines. And we didn't do anything but go to school and play. We had a maid, somebody who cooked our food, somebody did the yard, somebody made clothes for us. They actually made clothes. So back in the 70s, we had the bell bottoms. I had the 7-Up bell bottoms. That was pretty awesome. I love that.
That's all you could buy back then. There was nothing else in the store.
There was no straight legs.
It was just bell bottoms.
That's right. And and you get your bell bottoms caught in the bicycle gear and all that stuff. Yeah. But anyway, that was my childhood. I did see a little racism in North Carolina. That was our last base. There are people. I heard the N word for the first time. And that was and that's in the South. It's a little different than where we were. We were off base for a little while. Then we got on base. But the community is great. It's all about community, your friends and everything. And there was nothing, nobody ever got into a fight. Nobody got in trouble. Things like that were rare because they dealt with it, like I said earlier, through your parent. And so no racist remarks, because it would be the end of the world. It would be like, you get punished for your kid doing this, and that happened. So it didn't happen very often. It's just a different kind of place. I mean, it's total. Like it's like being a big giant gated community with the same people, and people swapping out every once in a while. That's what it's like. Everybody goes to the same school. A lot of fun. A lot of fun. Very excellent education and all that.
So
I
just
hope
out
I
of
answered your question.
curiosity, having
Yeah.
oh, absolutely. Just out of curiosity, listening to that, would you change anything about your experiences, both in growing up and now?
Never. No, I wouldn't change anything. First of all, it's not possible. Second of all, I wouldn't trade that for the world. I learned so many things, and met so many people, and we built relationships, and I still have today. And uh, my friend's name is John Selly. Okay, he lives in Warner Robins, Georgia. We were like brothers. We're still like brothers to this day. So he supports me. I support him, and there's nobody I know better than my own brother. So, better than him, but besides my brother and my family. So, and my family, we used to sleep over their house. They slept over our house. I mean, we were like one family, and they are uh, half Japanese, half American or Caucasian, and they're called bananas. They cannot fit into the Japanese
Oh
community
no.
society, and yeah, they cannot fit in. They can't. I mean, they go to the reunions in Japan, and it just doesn't work for them. And so
Oh,
they're kind of, and over there they do shun you for not being able, because you're not really, you appear to be, but you're not. It's the same exact situation. So they have the same problem. So he supports my
so we,
book. I actually mentioned them in my book. So
nice.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't
So
change
then would you
racism
anything.
consider,
seems to be, yes, racism seems to be in places that you don't really even expect it to be.
Yes, right, exactly. Um, yeah, I agree. So who has been my most influential person? I'm going to say Jesus, and my dad influenced me quite a bit. If my dad was in the Air Force, I wouldn't be either, because I was like lollygagging around saying, "Hey, I'll just try to get a job like as a PBX operator," which they don't exist anymore, the phone board or whatever,
Mhm.
the big
Yeah.
giant phone thing. And I thought, I'm not going anywhere with this. And I've got to do something where, and I always wanted to, I wanted to do something. I wanted to be like an air traffic controller or something, because I wanted to be like my dad. My dad would take us to the tower. We'd go in there, and it was amazing. You know, they didn't care about your health, your life back then, because it was just one ladder that goes all the way to the top. Back in the 70s, it was dangerous. There's
Wow.
this trap door you go up, and it's like, how do we get down?
Oh
So
man.
those are the kind of
So
things,
don't,
back then. Yes,
yeah,
people
yeah,
didn't
no
really
care
fear of
quick,
about
want to give
heights.
it
anything.
really quick. One of our viewers is saying hi to everyone. So, hi Claudia. I hope everything's doing well out there. Thanks for joining into our podcast here. We're talking with Kevin, and we appreciate having you on. So, thank you for tuning in.
Hello, thank you.
So, out of curiosity, again, do you plan on writing another book?
I have one in the works, and
Mm.
it's not about the same. It's not about the same subject. It's something different. Okay, here, what I did in my career. I went from the military. I retired in 2015. Then I went straight. I got, because of my reputation, I worked at the airlines, American Airlines, troubleshooting for mechanics, and then I went to when I'm a government contractor. I went to the Afghanistan program, and then to the KC-46, and then another one I won't name right now. But so, and in college, I was a screener at the airport, at the Columbus airport. There's only one concourse. So, so we were trained by the FAA and everything, and it wasn't TSA, it was private. So you had to be nice to everybody so you get the next contract. So we weren't rude to anybody like the TSA possibly is. So
We
But
could
in that,
maybe explain that.
no, no, it's not that. It's a different mindset because they're government employees. And I retired as a federal employee. When you're in the Guard,
Mhm.
you're federal full time, and you're also military. So retire at the same time, the same thing. So I had
Mhm.
30 years, 25 years of federal. Oh, okay. Hi, Claudia. Warner Robins, been there a few times uh, just last year. Excellent. So, as a federal employee, you learn how the federal system works. Then I became a contractor like I am now, and it's the same side. And then I was also working with airline, wording the FAA, the way FAA works. And you'll notice there's a lot of paperwork and a lot of things slow down in the government system. It's kind of like designed that way. But at the airlines, I learned how you can get things real quick because it's all about money. It's not about money in the federal government. It's never about money. It's about
No, no.
programs and then overkill. So I can say that because I lived it. So it's not a bad thing. It's just the way it is. So I can do something in a week that takes the federal government months and years in the airline world.
Mhm.
But anyway, it's very
Yeah.
interesting. I learned so much from each job I did. It all accumulated to what I do now. So I understand aircraft. I'm an aircraft buff. I love airplanes. I can tell you what's in the wing, what's anything about an aircraft. I can tell you. So I've had a lot of extensive experience with that. That is my thing. It's always been my thing. So I enjoy that more than anything. So I'm not ever going to fly one because I know I won't be able to because I'm not a pilot. So I'm not geared that way. I don't have nerves of steel, but in my own job, that's what you do. You have to like like we. I can say this real quick. I don't know if I have time. When you
All
have
right.
when you have okay, what I did was I worked on fighter jets or whatever I was assigned to, but fighter jets most of the time. And what you have to do, it's a dangerous job because running aircraft is very dangerous. You can run into surfaces, you can get sucked down the intake, or you can get your hands into some kind
Mhm.
of gear. It is really crazy. You have to respect the machines, but at the same time,
Mhm.
it's your job to fix them, and that's a big responsibility. They need this jet, right? They need this plane. So you have to be wiser than the systems you work. Because some of our systems made their own decisions. So it's pretty high tech. I'll just say that. So nothing is really straightforward sometimes. So you got to think ahead of the aircraft of what it's doing. You got to really sit down, and the diagrams are one thing, but the action is even better. So you get good at it. You got to get the knack. The smartest people aren't the ones that fix all the planes. It's the people that are wiser than the system. Sounds kind of counterintuitive because we did have engineer guardsmen, and they struggled with that because everything wasn't black and white. So you got to be on the outside in the color zone to get this together. So, but that's and your reputation's on the line. I think that's the biggest motivating factor. If I go to the plane, it's going to be fixed. That's what I want. That's what people used to say, and that's what I wanted to hear because that's success. So when you get a plane fixed, it's success. So this is a series of successes in your career, and this is very critical for kids and for young people. Success means everything. A win is a win. You get multiple wins a day, then that builds all the way through your next career and everything. So that is the number one thing I would advise people: make it your own. Um, Become one with whatever job you have. And I've seen that. I've seen pilots do that. Become one of the aircraft and the
Mhm.
incredible things they can do nobody else can do. Same thing
Right.
in maintenance and everything. It's incredible what you can do when you get that to that point where, man, I've got this together, but you never have it together, but you always know what to do next. I mean, it's not like you have some kind of plan. It's
Mhm.
like there are things that circuits I never saw for like years. I had to go back, or I've never seen before ever. I'd have to figure this out. But they teach you that, but you learn more on the way. So I encourage young people, get into your job no matter what it is, your career, be the best you can at it, and that will take you far. People get That's how I got the job at the airlines because I was
Mhm.
that good in the military. I got a call. You know, would you like? Because I was working at Enterprise. The only thing I could do because I was injured, so I drove around the airport by this hangar. I go, by the hangar. And I got a call. I said, well, I'd like to work there. And guess what? I ended up working there. So
Nice.
it's all
Yeah.
about, oh, okay. I want to go back to the story in my book, the little anecdote, okay?
Okay.
Okay. I don't know if you read this yet or not, Susan, but I wanted to buy, I was on my way to a conference in Virginia. And there was this PDA. See how old I am? It's a PDA. So
Uh-huh.
I wanted to buy it. So I like, all right. So I'm going to meet somebody, I can't remember her name now, in Virginia at a mall. So she's going to be there and I'm going to be there. And so I get there. I can't find her. She's nowhere. She told me she's wearing this. And I said, I'm going to wear this. So this is bad on my part. Okay. So I said, hey, I called because nobody showed up. And she was sitting right next to me. I assumed she was white. She's not. And she assumed I was white. so we're like, what? So that's bad on my part. I assume because I would call and people would think I was white on the other end. And they'd always say, are you Kevin? My last name is Mr. White, growing up white. That's part of the book title, right? So I put that in there as a little thing, but they thought, so people think, my wife does the same thing. They think you're something you're not, but we're judging people by our voices as well, which is kind of weird, but that's the way it is. You know, in my book, I say we're just, we have technology, but we're like cavemen, really. So we're not thinking, so we got this tunnel vision of what's the expectations on the other side. So I won't even talk about stereotypes. I do want to talk about George Magazine real quick. I have my latest thing is I am in George Magazine this month or October. I think we have one day left, maybe two. But anyway, my article is on page 102. And this is very related to the book. And you see the book at the corner up there. This is backwards. So anyway, I am so thrilled to be in there. And that was like, I always looked at that magazine thinking, this magazine is amazing because JFK Jr. Ran that. And I was like, man, I was like in awe because the covers and everything. I had no idea I would actually be in it. This is like awesome. So awesome. So I can't believe this is happening.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
That's just
thank
great.
you.
Yeah, when was your article? When did it come out?
It's out now. It is in this issue right here. You see the guy with the hat.
Yeah.
There. It's issue 12. And
okay.
Yeah. Yes, I can do that. Oh, you can do that. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I can send you the link. I don't think I sent it to you yet, but I can send that to you.
Okay.
So I'll definitely be
Thank you.
posting that. If you want to send me the link, I will post it right now, actually.
Okay, I can do that. Guys, don't mind me looking down here. So.
Not at all.
And let's see, I have it right here. And yeah, I can do this. I got that right. There's a link. Copy. Yeah, this is a good idea. I really am grateful to George and the editor there. They wanted me to talk about something else. I said, no, why don't I talk about this? And so, and that's how I got it. That's how I got into American Thinker, which was another big one.
Yeah, it is.
And I wrote them and I said, hey, I'm an expert at this. You need to publish it. And they did the next day. I was like, no way.
Nice.
This isn't happening.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Let's see.
So to sum up your experience, it seems to me like the answer to being, let's say, not accepted by a particular community is to find your identity in something else, and then you'll find yourself, because that's what you did.
Never go with the crowd. You can have friends and everything, but you got to be yourself. You have to be your own person. I mean, sometimes identity works against you. You know, other people will bring you down or whatever, but you got to be your own person. You got to make that decision on your own. You got to make decisions. Life is a bunch of decisions. You have to make the right ones. And people influencing you was really not going to help unless you have that set up in your head. So very critical thought, critical ideas. I believe in those kind of things. Oh, that's great. You got it. People get lost in crowds. And I find that happens a lot in the African American community, other communities, Hispanic community. So it's you got to be your own person. You care more about yourself than other people care about you. Is the thing. You have to be independent and look out for yourself. So you have to look out for number one. It's not being disrespectful or ignorant. I mean, life is not. Life is yours. It's your own. It's your own self, making your own decisions. And you learn that in the military. Maybe that's why, I say that you have to do. I mean, it's all about you. It's about the team. But when it comes to you as an individual, you have to do the right thing. You have to do it to your benefit. Not saying you're greedy. It's just that for your success. This is what I'm talking about. Your career. Career could be everything. Opening more doors, other things. Like, I don't know how I wrote a book. I really don't know how that ever happened. A mechanic to writing a book to owning a publishing company. How was that even possible? I didn't know that could happen, but I had such a passion to write. I had to get this out. So it sat for 10 years, and I was like, one day I sat down and I said, I need to add 1,000 words to this. And then I did. I did salsa music. I couldn't understand, so it wasn't distracting. And I just typed out. And that's how it happened. And as far as the publishing company goes, I learned a lot, I have other authors underneath my Brownie Fox Publishing banner. And it's been a fun ride. It's been crazy. Sometimes it's been tough. It takes a lot of work to get a book out. The people don't understand. So I use Canva for a lot of things. And then you got to format, and then you got to work with, some people are crazy. So people that post things, they're like so incoherent, and you only have 6 pages of, looks like a psychopath wrote it, or it's just blood and gore. Every page, this guy kills somebody. But there's some things you can't do. And we're more Christian based than we'll do something different. Like, we have a book on autism, not autism, but what is it called? Foster care. Fantastic book, fantastic artist and everything. We have books of Bible studies, and we have books of children's books, and other things, that are other interesting. And, things that, one of our books is Elephant versus Rhino, written by a 9-year-old boy with perspective. It's incredible. I can show you real quick.
Nice.
Real quick.
Yeah.
I know you guys
That was a joke growing up, by the way. Of what do you get when you mix an elephant with a rhino?
What is that?
Elephino.
Oh no. Okay, this is Elephant versus Rhino. This is the author here.
That is awesome.
Okay. Now watch the inside. Listen, look at this. This is incredible. This is perspective. These are all his drawings.
He drew it. That's fake.
Yes, I know.
Wow.
But it was a pleasure. And look, he just has a big face. That's all he has. I mean, it's like the guy the elephant is mad, and just things like that. You don't see. I mean, this is something kids don't do. But this is a genius. But working with other authors all over, different parts of the country, I love it. I love it. Once you get the product done, as you know, that it's like, yes, you celebrate. And then sometimes some things are like, I got to fix this. So you go in, you're sizing everything, what I mean?
I know.
But it's a challenge. So my wife and I, we both work on these together. And my daughter does does the social media. My other daughter
Mhm.
does the analytics, marketing analytics for us. So it's like a team coming together, and
That's
I'm so happy
great.
to work with you two, with Soulshine, and give me advice yesterday. I really appreciate it. So moving forward, yeah, we need to get together again sometime. And I'd like to have you on my show, both of
Yeah,
you actually, on my program
Definitely,
talk.
yeah,
definitely.
we would love to.
So do you have any other
Yeah.
questions for me?
I um
Uh,
I just have enjoyed absolutely everything that you've talked about today.
Well, thank
It's
you.
been wonderful listening to your perspective on things, how you've grown up, how you view the world. I think that's absolutely imperative, and I'm glad that you're talking to the young people out there because they really need to hear things like this. They really need to understand that
mhm,
the social media out there is not always the best consuming, and that life isn't what other people visit online. And
mhm.
you
Right.
showing us has been huge for us. So I appreciate you coming on today.
Well, I am very honored to be on your program, and your company is amazing as well. So you guys are amazing people. Thanks for having me on, and this has been fantastic. I enjoyed it, and hopefully we'll be friends from now on.
Yeah,
I hope
So
so.
yeah.
I hope so.
It, it
Susan,
was great
Did you
getting
have
to know
anything you
you.
wanted to
No, but thank you. I think I found you when I was going through and just I did a search on the word author, and
oh,
I just
okay.
started sending friend requests to everyone who had the word author in their title on
Yes.
Facebook, and you were one of
Well,
them, and that's how I think we got connected. And it
I
was
thought that you contacted me because that's the same time George came out, the George article. So I thought that was so. Okay, I got it now. Got it.
no,
No, that's awesome.
it was God is the one who brought
Uh
us
huh.
together
Okay.
because I
Yeah.
always attribute those kinds of things to
Right.
God putting things making what would seem to be just coincidences, into something that's really cool.
That is awesome. Well, thank you
Yeah,
very
well,
much. I usually say that to my
show,
guests. Well, thank you for coming on. Anything else you want to say? How can
yeah.
we reach you?
uh, show us your book one more time
Sure.
on camera here, so all our
Here we go.
guests and our future watchers can see it.
So this
Once
has
again,
great
it's called
reviews.
Growing
There
Up
you go.
White.
Yeah, look for the
Yes.
Oreo, the fake Oreo at the bottom. So
Yeah.
It's absolutely
Yeah.
beautiful.
I
And
I I love
where
the
can you
play on
find this right now?
words. Yep. Is
yes,
it
the play on
it's on
words.
Amazon?
Yes, it is on Amazon. It's different places. Actually,
Mhm.
you can see it like in other countries, and some people are
Mhm.
using it for a textbook. So
Great.
it's been around since
Nice.
2019, and it's still selling.
Mhm.
I'm like, wow. So usually they drop the
That's
price on that on Amazon, but
uh-huh.
I use Ingram Spark and KDP on that, and then I did a lot.
Uh-huh.
I launched my book in South Carolina back in 2020, and with a lot of friends that invited me there, and that's what got it started. It got a lot of visibility down there, and it was
Mhm.
fantastic.
I bet.
So that changed everything right there. I got on a lot of radio
Mhm.
programs and things like that, and then somebody offered me my radio podcast. I didn't even look for it.
Uh-huh.
Hey, would you like to? Yeah, it's crazy, but I appreciate this, and I could talk
I
forever.
definitely
I
appreciate
talk too
having you
much.
on
Well,
today. I want to play one
we
more little video here so everybody can see
Sure.
it. You guys keep talking because there's no sound of the video, but
Okay.
it's just for
No
our
yeah,
viewers
problem.
to see.
we are definitely going to stay in touch with Kevin and see what he's up to next and learn a little bit more about his experience as a publisher. And his book, I think, is very, I loved the title, Growing Up White, when your last name is white,
Mhm.
Yes. On
which
purpose.
is
Yeah.
in itself is kind of a humorous thing.
My nickname in the military was the white guy. So
Oh,
That is awesome.
don't
That
we
really
have,
is
don't
awesome.
the military guys have and gals have some really good sense of humor?
Yes, very.
There's also a lot of simplicity to it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
But thank
it's
you
just
so much.
Bottom
very
line. Bottom line.
straight.
Cut and dry. Yeah, you got it.
Yes,
Yep.
Thank you.
exactly. Thank you so much for coming on tonight, Kevin.
Thank you.
We
Thank you.
appreciate it, and we look forward to hearing from you and seeing you again down the road and working with you on future developments.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Yep.
I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
You have a great day, and we'll talk after the show.
Thank you.
Thank you. Whoop. We got things that up there a little bit. There we go. All right, thank you everybody for joining us tonight for our podcast, Shine with Curiosity and Encouragement. That was author Kevin White, and I hope you guys go out and find his book, read it. It's I think it's absolutely necessary in this day and age that we read a lot about what's going on and just changing the world one book at a time. Um,
Yeah.
it's it's
And
refreshing to know that there are people out
the
there that are like
way
that.
the way
And
he approaches this issue is just really, you'll be surprised. It's humorous. It's entertaining. He tells a lot of funny stories in it. You'll enjoy the book if you go out and get it. I know I've been enjoying it.
I'll definitely have to read it. But thank you for committing your Sunday to us for a little while and listening to us speak out here. Everybody enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Be blessed, and we'll see you guys next week when we have a new author. And appreciate everybody for coming. Is there anything else you want to finish off with, Susan?
Nope. Just thank you everyone who is watching us on the live stream, and then of course all of you who are going to be watching us later.
Yes,
We appreciate you, and Steve
absolutely.
and I are very appreciative of anyone who would like to write to us and send in your comments. We'll read them on the air at a later episode, but since this one's over, and if you're watching this as a recording and not live stream, feel free to still send us your comments because we will be really happy to promote and allow people to give us your impression, give us your thoughts.
Absolutely.
We would appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
And to anyone watching, if you are thinking about writing a book, do it. Just get out there and do it.
Yeah.
And if you need help, don't forget Soul Sunshine, and we'll get you on our podcast. Take care, everybody, and have a happy and safe Sunday, and have a happy and blessed week. We will see you guys all next week. Take care.
Thanks, Steve. Everybody, bye.